Hello.
Thank you for sharing your SMART goals. We know sometimes SMART goals can be frustrating because you think you've got it and then you just don't quite have it. So thank you for deep diving a little bit deeper with this one and getting your SMART goals done. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
This week is probably one of the most important things that we talk about. Or it is the most important thing that we talk about, I think, in our Scentsy business, full stop, and that is your stories. So stories are one of the things that you will tell when you're presenting products, when you're presenting the opportunity, when you're presenting yourself. And they really are, because people don't like to be sold to or talked at. So if you tell a story, what it does is it makes you relatable, and the people will suddenly go, oh, I understand. Maybe I need that in my life, or that resonates with me, that part. I need nice smelling laundry, or I could do with earning some extra money, or I don't want to send my kids to daycare, you know. So it makes you resonate by telling a story. So when we talk to you before, and we talk about it a lot on Skies about not just putting up flyer posters about products, because there's no story to them, you know. Sometimes we all do it, and I'm not saying that it can't ever be done, but you will find a post that you put up that is actually talking about you and how you're using the products or how you're living the opportunity will resonate with so much, and you'll get so much more interaction with it than what you would do if you just posted up a flyer, a photo of a product. So that's what we're chatting about today, your stories, and how to break it down effectively so that you can present a story to anyone and resonate with the people that you're talking to.
Yes, and its story is not only about the opportunity, but as Carly mentioned, it's about the products as well. How you're using them, what it solved, and yeah, so stories.
So we break it down into 3 sections: past, pain. So this is the most important section, which we're going to go through with you in a minute. Then you've got your current, where you are right now. And then you've got what you're looking forward to in the future. And these are, like we said, they're for products, they're for opportunities, they're for anything that you're talking about when it comes to your Scentsy business. If you go by these 3 parts, break it down. And this really helps when you're doing lives, doing videos, when you're writing posts out. Because if you can, for me anyway, if I can break things down into chunks, makes it easier for me to come up with the wording and what I'm going to say. So if you know that you can break that down into those 3 parts, it's going to make your life easier when you're creating content and you're trying to present to people as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's called power presenting. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit first about your pain, which sounds terrible, but it's not.
Painful.
Yeah, painful. We're not talking about like trauma or you actually physically hurting yourself. I'll give you an example. My husband's work clothes stink when he comes home, covered in oil, covered in like rubbish where he's working on machinery all day. So that's my pain point. It could be that I don't know anybody in the area, or that I need
spilled wax.
Yeah, spilled wax. It could be that you would really love to go on holiday, but you can't afford it. It could be you're about to go back to work from mat leave and you don't want to put your kids into daycare, and that's how you're living at the moment. You're like living in a state of, I don't want to put my little one into daycare. It could be that you travel 3 hours to get to work and 3 hours to get home again on like a train, and you're stuck in traffic and you hate it.
So I've lost my job due to COVID.
Absolutely, yeah. Now we're in lockdown again, and I've got nothing to do. You know, like, so all those things. They're the pain. And why we say the pain is the most important is because your pain is your hook. Your pain is what's going. I don't know why I'm pointing at my thumb. The pain is what's going to resonate. The pain is what's going to resonate with someone, and they're going to relate to it, and they're going to be attracted to you. And
exactly, that's the relatable part.
Absolutely.
People love to talk about their pains. People love to be negative. People love to be hurt. People just love to be
listened to.
Yeah, So whenever you start talking about something what happened to you, that's when people say, yeah, that happened to me as well, right?
Absolutely. And so, and look, you can post all day long about the incentive trips that you've been on, and it's awesome and it's great, and people go, wow. But, or you can say, I'm earning my full-time income doing this, da, 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 da. It's the pain that resonates, because they don't know that they can do that yet. They don't believe they can do that. They don't see that they can do those things that you're doing with your business right now. And when we take them on board, it's our job to teach them that they can. But right at that very beginning, they only care about the pain. They only care.
Yeah, exactly. So whenever you want to talk about them being able to earn full-time income out of this business, what we need to start talking about first is that you've been in that position when you couldn't afford even to buy candy floss for your children when you were at a market, because you just didn't have any spare money. But while you started with this business, and that's the pain part, that's when people will relate to you, instead of telling them, hey, do you want to start earning full-time income out of this business? They do have full-time income, and why would they want to have another one, right?
Their pain point could be that they're spending so much money on Scentsy that their husband's going crazy each month when the delivery comes, like, you have ordered what again? So that's their pain point, because we can solve that problem, can't we? We can help them pay less than retail. So that's another
easily,
you know. So that's your pain. Current is where we are now. So, for example, my husband's got really smelly work clothes. They come home, they're covered in oil. That's my pain. I bring out some washer whiffs and some laundry liquid and some fabric softener that smells absolutely amazing, and I turn on my washing machine and it does all the work for me. So that's my current. It could be, what else could it be? It could be with Martina. We've spilt the wax. We get some kitchen
iron and paper towels.
Paper towels and our hair dryer. That's currently where we are right now. When you're talking about the opportunity, if you're, I was really alone, really isolated, didn't have many friends and family. I joined.
Now I'm a Scentsy consultant.
Yeah, with distributors all over the town that we get to meet up regularly, go for coffees. My little girl gets to interact with their kids. Do you see what I mean? So that's where you are right now. So, and like we said, we can use this for product or opportunity. So that's your current. And then future, I will hang my husband's beautifully smelling clothes on the line. He will go out to work tomorrow and he will smell like black raspberry vanilla. Mwah. That's the future, you know. And again with the opportunity, it could be that I want to do something that's not too big with this one. I am able to, whenever I'm going on a market with my kids, I am able to buy them whatever they want, because I do have the spare cash right now. Yeah. Or it could be if you've joined just because your husband's moaning at you and doesn't want you to pay, be buying.
He's not moaning anymore.
Not moaning anymore. There you go. That's your future. You know, you're able to get your friends and family products as well, and get them some discounts and get them some bargains, and so that's your future. So pain, current, future. We would like.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it. So and also as well, just another thing, you might not have all the stories. You might not have every experience. You might not use some of the products. If you need to find a story, if you need to use a story about something in particular, like somebody, so say they're traveling an hour and a half to work on a train, they're working full time, and they're just absolutely sick to death of not getting through the door till 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. You might not be able to resonate with that. You might be a mum that stays at home with your kids. Find someone's story. Collect stories. Collect product stories. Collect opportunity stories. Make that one of the things that you do when you're, especially, we were talking last week about the power of the 5 people that you spend your time with. When you're watching YouTube videos and you're listening to people's stories, collect them, use them as examples when you're talking to people, so that you can resonate with more than just the people that are like you, you know?
Ask your customers, when it comes to products, ask your customers to how they're enjoying their products. It's a great follow-up. You are building relationship with your customers, but in the same time, you can collect all these stories. And until today, I can remember the story from one of my customers who is not my customer no longer for a long time. She's in our team. She purchased a warmer with some waxes. She had 2 little girls that time, and one of them spilled the wax on herself. And she sent me a picture of the little girl having the wax all over her, and she was so thankful for our product because the girl was in shock, but she wasn't burned at all. And she said that's the worst nightmare of every mom. If it was a oil burner with a candle in there, it would be a disaster.
Absolutely.
So, and then she became a consultant because she absolutely loved the fact of the safety of our product. And this is a story I like to share with other people as well, because it's a great story. It really happened. And it is just showing that our products are really safe. And if you just tell someone it's kid safe, they're like, yeah, right. So many products are kid safe. But if you actually tell them the story, they would be like, oh, okay. I always actually used to use oil burners as well. And I stopped using them because of that fact. That's true. I might have the fragrance back in my home. And then they start thinking because they can relate. They have little children as well, and so on.
You're creating the picture. Like, it's much, if you told me a little 5 or 6 year old girl spilt wax all down her, like I would picture that immediately, you know, and think, oh my God. And then you're going, but everything was okay. And you're retelling that story in your own mind, you know, and that's going to resonate a lot more than a picture of reading the words kid safe, for sure. Okay.
So yeah, definitely talking to your customers as well. That's a great thing.
First part of the homework for this week. Let me just. One of the things I did want to say to you is we have our stories, Martina and I, like our Scentsy stories, and we use them when we're talking to people about the join opportunity. So when someone says to us they want some more information, as well as the information about actually becoming a consultant, we send them a video through of our story, why we are paying, what's happening right now with Scentsy with us, and what we're looking forward to in the future. So for us, that's like a real integral part of what we send through to our like prospects when people are thinking about joining. So it's definitely something you would maybe should look at doing for yourself along the line. But do this week and get some practices under your belt. And what we'd like you to do is we would like you to share some stories this week. We would like you to speak to 20 people this week about the opportunity and 20 people about products. And we want you to use the story format. And we would like you to share in here the results. We would like for you to share in here the conversations that you're having. So you're going to have 40 conversations this week. You're going to be busy, okay? Break it down into a daily habit. So it's little chunks each day that you're doing. And yes, and have those conversations. The other thing we would like you to do is go live in this group telling a story. Not Old MacDonald or Red Riding Hood. We want you to tell a story that you've chosen, and that can be about your story, it can be a product story, it can be someone else's story, whatever you want to, it's up to you. And then what we're going to do is give you some feedback, because we want you to get really comfortable in telling these stories so that you can, at a drop of a hat, like Martina just did with the little girl, she can tell that story because she's told it so many times before. Like us with our stories of why we joined and how we joined and all that, me and Martina can off-pat just talk to anybody about it because we've told it so many times, and we want you to get comfortable in telling those stories. So you're going to use this group this week as a testing ground for you to get comfortable with telling the stories.
And I will actually make it a little bit harder for you, probably, this homework. I really would love for you to share with us your Scentsy story.
Yeah.
In this format. Because you are here for in this course because you want to expand your business. That means that you need to team build. You need to expand your teams. And this is how you will do it, by sharing your Scentsy story. You can share other people's stories, obviously, as well, because you need to be relatable to other people. So if you are talking about your story involves kids, and you are talking to someone who doesn't have children, they will not relate to your story. So you might, instead of telling your own, you might tell them someone else's Scentsy story. But first, I really would like for you to get just to learn how to say your own Scentsy story to people. If you want, you can do another one, and you can do with a product or whatever else you want. But I really would like for you to do the Scentsy story.
Yeah, I think that's fair, dudes. And look, like we said, we use these videos that we've made every single day of our Scentsy business when we're talking to people. So like get if you like Martina said, if you want to build, you're going to have to bring people on board, and you're going to have to get comfortable with telling this story. That's it. For just 40 conversations and a live video. Nice and easy.
But again, if you learn how to include these stories into conversations which you have with people in your everyday life, then you will, that's what we want you to learn pretty much. Because if you want to have 40 conversations, it shouldn't be just, hey, I need to do that conversation and that's it, and I'm not going to talk to that person after that for a long time again. It's about bringing these conversations into your everyday life with people you are meeting on an everyday basis and talking to on an everyday basis. So, and then you can easily do 40 and more in a week.
And don't go on, my top tip, don't go on too long, like 3-4 minutes tops. If you're talking for 20-30 minutes about yourself and your story, or you're talking about a product for 20-30 minutes, you're going to have lost them. You need to short, sharp, sweet, 3-4 minutes. Yep. And practice, and that's what this group's for. Nobody's here in this group now to judge you and your story. It's your story. This is just purely a safe place for you to get used to talking about it.
And do you know how you find if your story was powerful and was the right story for the right person? If you say just for 1 to 2 minutes, you stop, and that person will start talking on their own because they relate to your story. If they start talking, oh my God, yes, that's exactly what happened to me, blah, 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 and they start talking and you just listen, that's exactly how you find out that it was the right story in the right time to the right person.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, we're nearly at the end. Week 5. Thank you so much for
have fun.
I'll speak to you next week.